Hello everybody, start playing Roblox today. We're going to do a little bit of both history and Roblox. So we're going to be talking about World War II. I don't know if you're a kid, you might not understand any of what I'm about to say, but just telling you, you probably won't understand unless if you know what I know. So, in World War II, let's say the starting of World War II, Germany, Japan, and Italy were teammates, and also known as the Axis. Kind of similar to, it's very similar to what the original war was. So the Axis were three countries: Italy, Japan, and Germany. So the first promise broke was by Germany about Soviet Unit and Soviet. Oh, wait, I check something. Oh, seems like. Well, I'll shoot. Okay. Sorry, guys, I had to do something. Okay, now. Sorry for that. Controls were working very well at the time. So then Germany broke a promise with the Soviet Union, also known as the USSR. They promised them they'll be allies, and Germany was back then. They broke the promise, but then Germany. I'm going to talk about Germany first. Germany, then Czech Republic, and France and England. I don't know if this is all the way true, but I guess did not start World War II. They tried to not make World War II to happen. They had to sacrifice the Czech Republic and Slovakia, as known as today, or Czechia and Slovakia used to be called. It used to be united. Then something happened. It's not part of World War II. Then they had that. Then Germany decided to World War II. Then the person who was rolling, I'm not saying the name because YouTube might take down the video if I say it. He was born in Austria, so then that person wanted to take over Austria. It was a very powerful country at that point in time, so they took over. Then but the Soviets and Germany, when they broke the promise, somehow they both wanted to invade the Poland, and Poland got wasn't very happy. So then Poland was not happy at all. Like, Poland was not happy. Then we got France. It might be known as that. It also has that Eiffel Tower. Germany took it over, so you know the promise with the Czech Republic and Czechia and Slovakia. The promise with England and France. Well, Germany got. Well, then Germany suddenly took most of it over. Then England battling them, but also Germany was just going on a rampage and destroying countries. They were going after. There were a lot of countries that still don't exist now, because that was like 80. This is about happening 84 years ago, maybe a little less, but so then they were allies with Italy. Well, I'll tell you the countries Italy took over. So they took over Libya, and it's probably not correct how I say it. That's not how you quite say it. I'm pretty sure it's in Africa by Egypt. You can look at the name if you want. It's by Egypt, and then I don't know if it's had the same name back then, but Ethiopia by Somalia, pretty close by there. So they got those countries. It was not super big like Germany. Germany, they also had a pretty crazy president. Not really much of a president, but pretty did a lot of stuff. I don't know if you know the Baltic countries, but most of the Baltic countries were under Yugoslavia, something like that. I don't know how you say it really well, but so that did not take a while as like other countries, like think of one. France didn't take very long, probably took about maybe a month. Then that took even a little less time in a lot of countries. The country was mainly ruling in that country. I'm sure many people believe other countries rule it, but it was how I believe it is Serbia. A lot of people, all YouTubers think Yugoslavia. I cannot say that correctly. It was made out of a lot of Baltic countries, like I can tell you the countries: Croatia, Montenegro. I cannot say those very well. Serbia, Kosovo, other countries. Wasn't made out of Greece. When I meant about Baltic, it's really close by Greece, but it wasn't. Anyways, Germany helped Italy take over Greece. And, well, Greece wasn't. I don't know what Greece thought about it. It just took over pretty quick. Japan's side of the story, I didn't tell that. Japan's story was so when World War II started, so what they did was for its history, it was pretty big. So then I don't know what country it exactly started off. So it's Italy. I know Germany was like first owned. Actually, I don't think. Yeah, it was Austria. It was owned first by Germany before all the chaos happened, and then Japan. I would guess probably Korea or something. North Korea and South Korea. It used to be Korea. Now there's a bad Korea and good Korea. North Korea and South Korea. North Korea is bad. South Korea is pretty good. So then they had that. Then China. I don't know if you know that country. I would hope some of you know China, but so then North Korea and South Korea are pretty close to China. So then they invaded that. Also, other country they invaded was very, very close to invade was Papua New Guinea and Indonesia. They owned Indonesia. So Indonesia, I don't know, its borders really changed much for the last couple back then and now. So then so Papua New Guinea's country really it was this, I can't really explain, but there's like two sides super similar. Like really similar. Papua New Guinea owns that side today, that way. I don't know if you can see it, and Indonesia owns that way. It's pretty much 50-50. Maybe there might be a little different percentages, but that's pretty similar to 50-50. Then Japan I'm pretty sure borders didn't change much. So Japan just took over to Indonesia, then they had the path to Papua New Guinea, but America fought against Japan, and well, Japan basically won. There was also other plan of Japan taking over Australia, but they never did. I think it just didn't have enough time to, when we dropped a nuke on them. We dropped 2. Nagasaki, another one. It was, if we had had to do a third time, it would be Tokyo. So that was my. Sorry about that. So then Japan destroyed the Philippines. Well, captured the Philippines. Philippines had a pretty rough history during that 19th century. America had something to do with that too. Then Japan was at its greatest extent. I can tell the countries it was. It had almost there was only probably not even less of a quarter Papua New Guinea was when they invaded most of it. Probably wasn't even. I guess they didn't want to plan. If they were going to invade Australia, probably would have taken over that little bit of Papua New Guinea as a corner. They also took over Indonesia, Malaysia, and they took over Malaysia. They might have to take a little bit of Thailand. I can't pronounce a lot of countries super good. It's greatest they also had quite a bit of China. Now it's time to talk about Italy. And they fought a lot of wars. The only enemy they really had was Germany had two enemies. It was actually 3 from one of the valleys and tried to take over. Well, actually, a lot, like 5. It was France. Well, fought against them. Then we had America fighting pretty well. The Soviets, they went on a new level. So you know when they went on a rampage, so they took over country. They took over pretty, like, for example, like France and Poland, and took. Think of our other one. Not very good at remembering stuff. Yugoslavia. I don't know what country, if they ever invaded it, but they tried. It was not a very long war. The war didn't last very long. I don't know. I can't say the thing again really correct. Not very well. So then, Germany just took over. Weirdly, Czech Republic, Slovenia probably had that land. Slovakia. At one point in time, and I don't know if you know Belarus, but Belarus, in the invasion of the Soviet Union, they never invaded the Soviets. They only got very close to the capital city of Moscow. I don't know if I say that right either, but that's how I like to say it, Moscow. They owned quite a bit. There was a supporter of a country that didn't really fight much. It was Finland. They also was supporting Germany. They never got invaded. I'm pretty sure they never got invaded, but Norway got invaded. Denmark got invaded. If you know the Greenland and Denmark thing, America owned Greenland back then. So then America, then Germany just went through, like, it was a 6-hour war. Denmark knew what they were trying to do, so the invasion of Norway, they were trying to get Denmark so it wouldn't be, so they then have to get a lot of Navy over there because it's a very big country, so they didn't want to stretch their Navy really. They didn't want to just do it Navy long ways for Navy, so they just took over Denmark. Denmark pretty much knew everything what they were trying to do. Just know what they were trying to do, so they surrendered in 6 hours. Because they also got a lot of time to seal the countries got invaded, so they knew what they're going to, how many deaths it could be. Some had millions, like a battle of Stalingrad, like 2 million deaths. Because they know those wars can be very deadly, so they quitted. They got invaded really quick, so that not many deaths happened. Another country known as Luxembourg, very rich country for its size, also got invaded, had no chance, only had 1,000 soldiers and barely didn't even have an air force, like maybe 1 or 2 tanks. Obviously, Germany had like 1,000, a couple million soldiers, so that was easy to take over Luxembourg. So they also, Belgium and Netherlands, they also got taken over at one point in time. I think it was 18 days for Belgium, don't know Netherlands. So yeah, it was a pretty crazy battle. And then, Soviet, as I said, it was the Soviet Union and Germany invaded. So it was going really good. They got Ukraine They got Ukraine, Belarus, Estonia, and Latvia. Probably not how you quite say it. They invaded it really, really well. They invaded pretty quick, those countries. But then when it got to Moscow, it backfired. America was happy. USSR, boom. Then England had a chance, so they went to the English Channel, and France was getting its independence, also known as D-Day. Then France finally was a country again, also known as, it was known as D-Day to save France, and a lot of hours were lost because the person who was kind of the president, but I don't want to say the word, it starts with a D. He was kind of crazy, so, and then he also slept for many hours, so crucial hours were been lost in the battle, so that kind of gave the Allies a chance. And then France was a country, and it's just all kind of unfold. Belgium, and want to know what happened to Germany at the end? I talk mostly about Germany because they have a really long, you can talk a long time about it and still have a lot of time. So what happened is France got a little bit of it, like maybe not much of a quarter. The Soviet Union got about, maybe, I don't know how big it was, like a mini Serbia basically. America got pretty similar size, like maybe 3 USSRs, how much land they got. It was France, England got some, all the countries are kind of fighting them, got some. Finland didn't really have anything happen to them. So then Italy's surrender actually wasn't really much of a surrender, they were fine. Because then they fought it, because then they surrendered. Libya, Ethiopia was finally, they're also countries now. So now, and Italy surrendered quick. In 1943, they fought against Germany. It was only a year they fought against them and then split. Italy didn't get anything, but at least they weren't split. Like Japan, it was all USA. So what happened was they lost the longest. It was 1945. They didn't. The problem. I should explain what happened at the beginning. They were trying to get resources. America used to help in the beginning. This is the beginning. It wasn't the end. Just to remind you guys. it was a beginning. They were getting resources from America, but because America has a lot of resources, a lot of times they had a ton. So Japan was getting resources, but then America stopped helping them, and they had to invade other countries to get more resources. So then, at the end, America, the help of England, because Germany has some history over it too. They found like a nuclear thing. It can cause a ton of damage. A ton of damage. It can cause a bomb in 1938 before World War II started. So then the Allies needed to get it before Germany can do anything bad. So then they got it in 1944 to figure out how to nuke it. Then launched to Fat Man and Little Boy. When it was Nagasaki, other city. If it was third, probably most likely Tokyo. But then it was nuked. And they had to kind of surrender because it caused a lot of damage. Not like nukes today, because they can go hundreds of miles for damage today. But now it was like maybe 20 back then. It was 20 miles, still a lot of miles. You can probably see it on a map. Probably see 20 miles. Oh, I can't see it in these states. Probably can do really that. I hope so you enjoyed today's history lesson. We're going to do this a little more and see how it goes. We'll still be doing video games sometimes, and then have a good day, everybody. Bye.